Welcome to the City Current radio show. I'm Andrew Bartolotta, Director of Digital Media here at City Current. And today we're talking about hope, healing, and miracles. We're talking about the organization My Town Miracles. And with me, we have their Executive Director, Brandon Artiles. Brandon, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you for welcoming me back to the show and all things City Current. Awesome to be able to sit down with you for the first time, Andrew. So it's just a privilege. And again, thanks for the opportunity to share what we're doing with My Town Miracles.
Can you talk about your mission and history at My Town Miracles?
Well, what's funny is like we're coming up on 5 years. It's amazing that we've been able to have this platform for the last 5 years, and it's just a real rich blessing that the Lord has provided us with. And so we are, what at the essence of My Town Miracles is we're kind of the faith expression of some of the My Town entities, which is there's My Town for-profit companies, My Town Movers and My Town Roofing, My Town Properties, and it continues to grow. But this is really the expression of our Christian faith through the reality of what God has commissioned us with. A, to share the gospel, but also B, to love and serve our neighbors, and to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So just really leveraging all the resources and the platform that we have to try to be fulfill needs and throughout the community. And we've kind of done a lot of different things and gone through some evolutions, but where we've been at the last couple of years is just realizing that when we look at the child poverty numbers in the city of Memphis in particular, and the 901, it's just like one in every three children are living in poverty. And so we just feel like God has put us in a position and put it on our hearts in lockstep with a lot of other organizations throughout the city doing great work to try to do what we can with the resources we have to make an impact in the lives of kids that are battling those kind of vulnerabilities. So that is what we do. We exist to try to provide stability and security for children through compassion, and we hope that they experience the love of Christ through that.
You said security, stability, and recently you've blessed Mid-Southerners with the gift of mobility.
Yeah.
Can you explain to our audience how this has taken place in various ways?
Transportation is such an obstacle. Having access to quality transportation, not everybody has access to their own car. Using the public transportation system in Memphis is not ideal. You spend several hours on a bus going all over the place just to try to get to where you need to be, whether that's work or school or childcare. And we had, we were introduced to a mother through one of our community partners, Streets Ministries, a couple of years ago, that was having issues with all three. She's trying to go to college, trying to get to her job, and also trying to get her son Kate into childcare, who's 4 years old. So just a single mother trying to juggle all of that, and we had been able to assist. Her name's Kishiana, and we've been able to assist her in a variety of different ways over the years. But recently, actually in the winter, December, she kind of reached out for us just for a little bit of assistance, a little bit of a boost. But she had indicated that she had lost her phone on the bus and done that, just going through some difficult circumstances there, and we're just kind of like, the light bulb went off. It's like, we need to try to get her a car. We need to try to see what we can do to just so that is not an obstacle for her. And she's a young woman who's trying to do everything the right way. She's had some adversity in her life, and she's made some mistakes herself, but now she's trying to get on the right path, and she's doing well. And we just want to do everything that we can in our power to keep the wind at her back and keep her moving forward in a positive direction. And pretty much all our calls to action are, based in scripture, and Isaiah 117 tells us to take up the case of the widow and plead the cause of the fatherless. And that's and we had both of those in this kind of modern day context. We had both of those with Kishiana and Caden. And so, the Lord went to work on that. We reached out to one of our dear friends, Jimmy Turner and Mary Turner at Christian Brothers Automotive in Collierville, and said, "Hey, do you happen to have any cars? Has anything been donated recently, or is there anybody who's turning over a vehicle that they're not wanting to put the work into?" And he said, matter of fact, he did. He had that, and it's a Kia Optima, and it's in really good shape. And he put some new brakes, some new wheels and tires on it, and really gifted it to us so that we could give it to so that we could give it to Kishiana. And it's just And so we were able to surprise her with it in February, and she was just, she was blown away by it. And we just hope that it really encouraged her in her faith, and was a tangible expression of God's provision and His love for her.
I love that. That's so great. And so my motto in life is we'll be known by the problems we solve.
Mhm.
And my time miracles, to my understanding, is really the wish granters of those experiencing hardship through God's love in various ways, which is
Mhm.
really what you were just talking about. So talk about your community partners and some ways you've impacted their clients. I think what's really cool about my time miracles is you really lead by collective impact, and
Yeah.
by having those community partners like Advance Memphis. I'm thinking of a story, sort of prompting a story about a man named Chris for you to talk
Yeah. Yeah.
about. But really, just share some of those stories with your community partners and what
Well,
that means to really partner with them.
my greatest privilege, Andrew, in this job is just being introduced to all of these folks that are just doing amazing work to make the city of Memphis a bit better. Much of it is doing work to propel God's kingdom, which what we love. City Current, you're one of those. You're just a light in the city, encouraging and inspiring others, and we love that we're able to kind of be shoulder to shoulder with y'all. But you just mentioned Advance Memphis, and they have said, hey, there's an area of South Memphis that we are just going to take ownership over, and we're just going to uplift people in that community. And so they do that through a variety of ways. A lot of it's job readiness training, and I'm not on staff at Advance, so I may mess up some of the things that they provide. But I know their heart, and their heart's just incredible for the people they serve. But career readiness programs, job training, that kind of thing, soft skills, building those up in a lot of their clientele. And also, but this story in particular that you mentioned with Chris, his name's Chris Kirkwood, is they had this like kind of this entrepreneurship class, and it's called. And so Chris went through that program. He wanted to start his own trucking company, and he's just a guy, has 4 kids, a wife, and really wanted to take his own take ownership over his career and his life. And so we started a trucking company called the Squirrel Lake Express, and this was really fostered and he got a lot of help. He had the drive and the motivation, but he needed some guidance, and Advanced Memphis was able to provide him with that. And so, as a part of that program, they have something called an individual development account, where they are encouraging students, their graduates, to save money that can be redirected toward their business or their enterprise. And so he very quickly, he's on the ball. He built up that savings very quick to I think the maximum's $1,500. And so the sponsorship is they're looking for 2-to-1 matches. And for us, in order for us to feel like we're being good stewards of our resources, it has to impact a child. And we knew Mr. Kirkwood had kids, and he's trying to set an example for his children, being really cultivating a legacy of entrepreneurship. And so we knew the example he was setting for his children. So we knew that this was going to make an impact on their lives as well as him. And so it was a 2-to-1 match, and we were able to be a sponsor for Mr. Kirkwood's individual development account. So we were able to sponsor at $3,000 and just help him continue his dream of owning his own business. And he wants to, again, it doesn't stop with him. He wants to employ people in his community, and he really wants to not just uplift him and his family, but also all those around him. So, and that's kind of to further the point. We My Town Miracles, we don't pretend to be doing this on our own. We're not starting our own programs, but what we want to do is we want to rally around other organizations that already are doing great work. They're in the trenches, they're doing the heavy lifting. And if we can do something to reinforce what they're doing while making a direct impact on those that they're serving, that for us is a win-win. And so it's a win for the nonprofit organization. It's a win for the family or the child being directly impacted by our resources, and it's a win for us because we just feel like we're being obedient and fulfilling what God has called us to do.
How has the pandemic impacted the way you serve our community?
Well, it's what it has done is it's funny, you go through these different stages, and initially when the pandemic all set off, now here we are a year ago, you got very you got very tight, and you're like you wanted to hold on to everything you had, and there was just something stirring in us around the summertime where things were still kind of, you're being a little apprehensive with your resources, where you're like, you know what, the need's never been greater. The needs,
Right.
with the unemployment and the economic impacts of the pandemic, it's like you gotta go for it. Be bold. And maybe that's not for everybody, but that is something that we just kind of took seriously. Is like, let's dig in and find some partnerships that we can really lean into and continue to strive to be a part of. One of those was we were able to do a scholarship with Red Zone Ministries last year, and they serve children in Orange Mound. So we were able to provide two college seniors moving on to their first, high school seniors moving on to their first year of college with scholarships at $5,000 and $2,500. So that was just a rich blessing for us and the recipient. But it was just kind of I'd say, to answer your question about how the pandemic has affected us, it's just it's created an outlet for us to continue to be courageous, where we want to continue to be bold and courageous, and not get too safe or get too timid with our mission. And that's what we have to be good stewards. We have to be careful. We have to be smart. I'd say that's one thing it has. We've had to be smarter with our resources, and so that's been part of the challenge. But I would say that was one of the things learned, is like, let's God will make a way, and we just need to be obedient to that. And again, he's when I came on your program with Jeremy last fall, it was to talk about this opportunity that was in front of us with these another partnership. It wasn't with a direct nonprofit, but through some physical therapists that have been serving these kids with special needs that needed help getting some therapy bikes. Going back to the mobility piece that we were talking about earlier. So this is more mobility, and I think we were at a stage where we were at that time where we're like, I don't know if we can take this on. I don't know if that's something that we can spare the resources for that. But instead, I think God just put it on our hearts, like, let's go for it. Let's see what we can do. And sure enough, uh, we kind of went into it with the intent of being able to bless one child with a therapy bike, and it's become two. So we were able to help two special needs children, a 5-year-old in Bartlett and a 9-year-old in the Raleigh Frazier area of Memphis, and we were able to help them secure these therapy bikes that help them develop the muscle strength so they can be more independent. But really, at the end, what it's all about is them just having the joy of riding a bike. They're not physically capable to ride a normal bike. So this is a bike that has some extra stability built into it, and it's specially modified for whatever it is that's holding them back, and they're able to have the joy of riding a bike. And it should be they each bike should be delivered sometime in the next couple of weeks. So as the weather's getting a lot better, they're going to be getting out and having fun just like everyone else on the streets.
I can't wait to see that. One thing I've learned over the past 2 years, especially, is that I feel like God says, "Trust me," and then watch this, and
Yeah.
just the multiplying effect of, you thought you could only do this, but guess what? I mean, I've seen it in our lives through our adoption. It was, we were adopting one child. Well, guess what? Now here's two. Here's one boy. Here's one girl. So it's just like, it's always, trust me, watch this. You never know what's gonna happen, and it's always more than you expected.
Amen. And congratulations on that. I've been just watching your journey. Thank you for boldly, sharing that with everyone you're friends with on social media and all your platforms. We're just praying for you, and just but very happy for you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, what puts a smile on your face when you look at the impact My Town Miracles has on our community?
Well, it's just what first off, just seeing that's another privilege of mine, is just being able to have direct contact with the people that are receiving these things. I consider myself like a representative of all the folks that donate to My Town Miracles, that are part of our family. As I mentioned, all the My Town entities, a portion of their profits come in, and they help with our mission. But we also have donors from throughout the community and corporate sponsors and everything. I need to mention Chad Lindsay with Alston Construction stepped up and helped us fund one of those mobility therapy mobility bikes for one of the children we're serving there. So just I get to be the representative of all those folks that are just being so generous for us, and I get to see the smile on the face of the people we're impacting, and I get to see the tears of joy and just the genuine gratitude that they have, and that is just uplifts me. It's an encouragement to me. It's not cliche to say, hey, I'm being blessed through this. I'm truly being blessed by every interaction and every opportunity to serve that I have. And the greatest thing that puts a smile on my face is just knowing that through hopefully what we're doing, God is being glorified through that His name is being made great, and that people are, because we're doing this in the name of Christ, and we just want that to be at the forefront, and the people that understand that God is going to meet your physical needs, yes, but there's also a spiritual need that we all have, and that was made very plain over Easter. Just through the forgiveness of sins, and that we need not be shamed. That need not be ashamed, and so that's what we just want to make that connection point, and that's just what brings me joy, is just being able to help connect those dots for folks.
Well, I think what's really cool about your story is being in broadcast news previously. I can imagine you've told a lot of stories that were not as heartwarming or as positive that you wanted to sort
Mhm.
of share, but because of your job, you had to share those, and now you're able to use your platform to really share the positive things going on, not just with My Time Miracles, but your community partners as well. So that has to sort of, I assume, uplift your spirits more than maybe it has in previous jobs.
You would be very correct. You'd be very correct. And I try not to give news too hard of a time,
Yeah,
because there is, you have to report bad things. That's kind of the nature of the beast. I'm in a position right now. I'm a storyteller at heart. That was the passion that got me in the news in the first place. I like telling people stories, and now to be able to utilize that gift, and to be able to broadcast the stories of folks that, whether we're helping, or the great things that our community partners are doing. Streets Ministries doing amazing work in lives of youth, and like the pandemic has not slowed them down. It's altered how they serve their kids in their neighborhoods, but they're still going at it. Advanced Memphis is still going at it. Red Zone Ministries is still going at it. So to be able to see that's been such a gift for me, is I guess working in news, you do see kind of the negative side of things, and that's unfortunate. But being on this side of it, it's like I see all the positive. I see, and there's still pain and suffering, and that's what we feel like we're moving into, and that's what we're being a part of, at least resolving. Um, but you get to see all the folks doing the heavy lifting and the work, to try to bring about change, and not just talk about it, but be a part of spearheading it. So and that's so it's hard not to, you can have this negative view of things, but once you start seeing it up close, you're just like, wow, there's a lot going on in this city to be proud of, and there's a lot of people that are just working tirelessly to make that happen.
yeah, and I'm thinking of some more former news folks like Lauren Reedy with Forever Ready Productions and
Yeah.
Jerica Phillips over at SCS. And what's really great is because you all are storytellers, like at your soul, it's what you love to do. When you are in these new positions with a nonprofit or as an entrepreneur or with a school system, you can really see it in the work that you do, that you are the storytelling. You may not do it in front of a camera every day, but you are doing it through social media and through your organization, that it really does shine through. And I think that's almost a skill set that we all need to adapt to with the rise of this culture now, post pandemic, or at least what we're saying is the new normal. So moving on, later this year in September, you are hosting a Chick-fil-A 5K. Can you
Yeah.
give us a sneak peek at what's to come with this event?
Okay, well, it's a little bit different than what we've been able to do in the past. First things first, I'm blown away that Chick-fil-A Mid South is continued to want to be a partner with us, and we're just, again, I'm grateful. That's all I can say, is I'm grateful. And so years past, we've done something with them called the Family Picnic and Field Day, and then it kind of evolved into the Fun Day, and that was great. But this year, an opening occurred in their schedule where they do their annual Chick-fil-A Labor Day 5K, and they said, "Hey, do you want to be the benefit of it, the beneficiary?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, we would love that." So we're sad that the field day and whatnot may be taking a back seat for now, but we're excited to be a part of this, and it's going to be. And I think what's truly exciting, again, everything has to be couched in Well, you never know because of the pandemic and but with everything going the way it has been and trending, and with the vaccine, we're hopeful that on Monday, September 6th, it's an outdoor event. We're hopeful that people will be excited to get outside, get some fresh air. It should be a beautiful day. We hope it will be a beautiful day over. And I think we've targeted the Liberty Bowl. That's not set in stone yet, but we'd like it to be at the Liberty Bowl, which has been the host of our event the past couple of years. So it's going to be a 5K. There'll be a little, something for everybody. If you're a runner, if you're a walker, if you're just out there to have fun. And so that will be our big fundraiser for the year. And we look forward to inviting some corporate partners to become sponsors in that as well. So, but the title sponsor is Chick-fil-A. So again, it's kind of stay tuned. Yeah, we'll have some more information coming out on that in the next, hopefully in the next couple weeks about the venue, finalizing that, and then when tickets will start to become available. So, or when sign up and registration for the race. So a little bit different for us, but we'll still have the Chick-fil-A cows and the great community and camaraderie that Chick-fil-A kind of inspires. And yeah, we're just looking forward to being able to incorporate some of our ministry partners in that with Streets and Memphis Athletic Ministries and Los Americas and Red Zone. We hope to be able to bring them out and allow them to have a day of fun, but also use and leverage the resources that we are able to raise from that day to continue to make an impact on the youth in this city.
So, speaking of community partners and registrants, how can people support your organization?
Well, the primary way is through just donations, and if you can go on our website, mytownmiracles.org, org /donate, or there's a donate button on the homepage. That's the best way to support us right now. We are right now cultivating some volunteer opportunities. It's a little something that we're trying to launch called My Town Mentors, and so we are kind of using these community partnerships that we've established with some ministries to see where we can provide volunteers, where we can provide like tutors. Like right now, we have tutors going to a school. This is another. I love this school. I wish I mentioned it earlier, but Brinkley Heights Urban Academy in kind of the North Binghamton area. Just an awesome K through 12 school serving at-risk vulnerable youth in that neighborhood. And we have tutors going there and reading to first graders, or doing flashcard, or reading with first graders. They're reading, the kids are reading to the tutor, or doing like math flashcards, so that kind of thing. So just an opportunity to have like a direct impact on someone. If you don't have the ability, or you don't feel led to give monetarily, there's other opportunities for you to be a part of what My Town Miracles is doing through that venture. So,
Great.
but
Now,
to
one
answer your
last
question,
time.
and then I'm sorry to interrupt,
No,
Andrew.
you're
Then but also, we'll have information on sponsoring. Man, I just keep going and going. Sponsor for that event, or if you're a corporate company and you're looking for things to get involved with, like Alston Construction did with this therapy bike. That they sponsored that, so they're the corporate sponsor for that bike, and so we're just kind of the connection point there. And so if you're interested in partnering with us in that way, where you're able to kind of get a therapy bike, or make a direct impact on a family going through a really adverse situation that's where their finances are impacted, then that's something else that you can be a part of.
Where can people go to learn more about your organization?
I think go to the website again, mytownmiracles.org. We also are on, Facebook. I'd say that's where we put a lot of our we put a lot of our energy into our social media. So our Facebook page, we try to keep everyone updated on things that we have going on, and also on Instagram as well. So those are the main things. We do a little bit of Twitter, but not too much. But mainly, if you seek us out on Facebook, My Town Miracles, or on Instagram, My Town Miracles. That's another great way to kind of stay informed on everything that we have going on.
Brandon, thank you for working to power the good in our community. We appreciate it.
Thanks again for the opportunity to come on and share, Andrew.